Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the November meeting of the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners. In keeping with our usual practice, anyone who wishes to, please join the board in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Commissioner Jameson is excused this evening. We're meeting on Tuesday, November 12th, in the Peter Feeney Conference Room in the Cumberland County Courthouse. Could I now ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this item? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. We're very pleased to have the opportunity tonight to make some presentations, which we do annually for the Spirit of America Awards. And I'm going to ask the county manager to be the master of ceremonies here for these proceedings, and take it away. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and welcome to those in attendance this evening for the Cumberland County Spirit of America ceremony honoring outstanding volunteerism in our county. I am Jim Gailey, the county manager. Tonight we will recognize individuals and groups who were selected as the recipients of the Cumberland County 2019 Spirit of America Foundation Tribute for Outstanding Community Service. The Spirit of America Foundation is a 501c3 public charity established in Augusta, Maine to encourage volunteerism. It allows the Spirit of America Foundation tribute to be present in the name of any Maine municipality. Since the first Spirit of America Foundation Award was presented to Alma Jones by Augusta's mayor in 1991, over 350 Spirit of America ceremonies have been held to date. This year, we have purposely kept the award narrative short in order to provide time for the recipients to say a little about their organization or their work, or both, which I believe will add something special to this evening's program. And by all means, don't feel obligated to do so if you don't feel comfortable. Each recognition award will be read and presented by the district commissioner. I would like to now invite District 2 Commissioner Sue Atonis to the podium. All right. We should have talked beforehand. The first Spirit of America Award winner is Wendy Betts. Wendy Betts has been involved with the Casco Recreation Department for over 10 years, whether it's be coaching, helping administer teams, organizing end-of-year celebrations, or volunteering, to help with community events. Even after Wendy's children got older and were no longer involved in youth recreation programs, she still wanted to be involved and help her community. When she heard the town was demolishing the Memorial School and turning the property into a multi-purpose park, Wendy took the lead on funding options and grants to offset town costs for the project. Due to Wendy's outstanding efforts, Casco was able to complete concession/storage building, a pavilion, and a playground. A walking trail will be started soon. Wendy has been totally committed to this for 4 years and continues to work on creative ways to make this amazing project a reality. So is Wendy here? Congratulations, Wendy.
I had no idea. I wasn't prepared to make any remarks, so forgive me as I fumble through this. I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate being honored in this way, but really, the person who should be honored is Beth Latzy, who is head of the Recreation Department of the town of Casco. She has done nothing but be a servant to everyone in our town, and what is remarkable about it for me is that Beth is from away. She is very dedicated to all of us. I am also from away, but really what it's all about is all of us working together and the town to do what's best for everyone, including our children and the families of the town. And my hope is that everyone enjoys this park as much as I will. Thank you very much.
Next up this evening is Lacey Antonsen. Lacey Antonsen has made a significant positive impact in town in the relatively short time that she has lived in Gray. She started the annual Gray Blueberry Festival, now in its 4th year, with attendance topping 2,000 in 2018. She recruits a team of volunteers to work this festival every year. She also serves on multiple committees, some of them including Community Economic Development Committee and the Recycling Committee, and received the Town of Gray Volunteer of the Year Award just recently. She has quickly become a valuable asset to Gray, and her desire to make the town a better place to live and work is deeply appreciated. Is Lacey here this evening? Seeing none, we'll make sure that Lacey gets this. Is Bill Callahan with us this evening? No? Okay. I will just read it so that everyone understands what Bill did. Bill Callahan has been active in the community for many years. His background includes military and fire department service. As a distinguished Marine Safety Patrol volunteer, Bill eventually became harbor master. In that capacity, he drew special praise for assisting lake residents with their moorings and general boat safety. Since then, he has been volunteering in other ways. The town of Naples would like to recognize and thank Bill Callahan for his dedicated service to the community. So we will make sure that Bill gets that. How about the Raymond Beautification Committee? All right. I see one half hand. Okay. The Raymond Beautification Committee does excellent work in ensuring that the 302 corridor and other areas in town look their best. Spring cleaning and plantings require a lot of dedicated volunteers that gladly put in many hours. Cleanups through the summer and fall are followed by a drive to place Christmas wreaths on each of the town's streetlights. Many contributors assist in this year-end effort. These efforts are appreciated by community members and visitors alike. So would you like to come up and receive your award?
And we just want to say, this is for everyone in the beautification committee. We have a group of people we call the walking weeders, and they've been at it for 15 years now, and we certainly couldn't do it without them.
Well, I do have to say that if it weren't for Sharon,
Oh.
the committee would not exist. She has been on this committee, leading it since its inception in 2003, am I correct? And we do care for gardens along 302 through Raymond, from the Casco end to the Wyndham end. There's approximately 70 gardens that we do. And now we are fundraising to put wreaths on each light pole
Yeah, 70 light
through the
poles.
town. Yes.
We'll do that tomorrow.
Wow, yes.
Sure.
Turn it the other way.
Yep. Thank you.
And the last award or recognition for District 2 goes to Barbara Hall. Barbara Hall has selflessly served the residents of Wyndham for many years at the Medical Loan Closet and Food Pantry. It is with gratitude and appreciation that we recognize her contributions to the people who need help the most in our community. Is Barbara with us this evening? All right. Congratulations.
Thank you. And thank you all for this award, Susan. Wyndham has had a medical loan closet since the 40s, and it was run by ladies who were in their 80s and 90s. Now I'm approaching that age, so, but for the last 10 years, we've expanded it so that we can loan medical equipment to anyone
regardless of what town they live in. We have things like wheelchairs, walkers, all kinds of durable medical equipment, and anyone from any community is welcome to come in and use the equipment. I will. Now you can.
Well, now I'd like to invite District 3 Commissioner Stephen Gordon up to join me here at the podium. Our first recognition award is to the Cumberland North Yarmouth Lions Club. Do we have anyone here? All right. Since 1961, the Cumberland North Yarmouth Lions Club has served the two communities by providing eyeglass service, sponsoring Greeley scholarships, supporting and sponsoring local scout troops, delivering poinsettias to the elderly at Christmas time, sponsoring Greeley delegates to Boys and Girls State, the local food pantry, and spearheading the annual Christmas tree lighting / Santa's Visit event in the center. Each fall, the club holds their annual Give Thanks apple pie fundraiser to benefit the community food pantry. The club also sells boxes of oranges, grapefruits, or mixture of both, donating all proceeds to the senior class at Greeley High School in the form of college scholarships and supporting project graduation. More than $275,000 for this has been raised to date for these causes through the Lions Club's efforts. So congratulations to the Cumberland North Yarmouth Lions Club.
Make sure you get the king.
Thank you. You said exactly what we were going to say. Pretty much it. That's it. I mean, it's a group of 50 individuals. The organization's been there since 1961. We look to continuously grow the group, and we have a lot of fun with our fair booth at the Cumberland Fair. So if you've never been to that, when you come to the Cumberland Fair, make sure you stop to see us. Thank you.
Take two.
Thanks again.
Next up, we have the North Yarmouth Comprehensive Plan Committee. Anyone representing the North Yarmouth Comprehensive Plan? All right, we'll read it anyways to see what great work they're doing this year. North Yarmouth Comprehensive Plan Committee is receiving this year's Spirit of America Award for its members' 2-year dedication to the updating of the town's 15-year-old comprehensive plan. Not an easy task, yet volunteers prevail in revising and creating a new plan that was approved by the townspeople in November of 2018. The vision statement accomplishes the town's goals of maintaining its unique character as a largely rural town, guiding residential growth while attracting appropriate commercial growth, and maintaining the appeal of the country character by preserving natural, historic, agricultural, and cultural resources. The community's plan will help to encourage the development of the village center, to protect natural resources, preserve the quality of town's public water supply, and encourage recreational use of the town's extraordinary network of public parks, forests, and trails. So congratulations, North Yarmouth Comprehensive Plan Committee, and we'll make sure they get this. How about the Town of Powell Budget Committee? Seeing none, we'll read it to see what they're doing this year. Powell Budget Committee stepped up to the plate when the Select Board really needed them to do so recently. The committee made especially excellent decisions for this year's budget, reaching other community budget measures and performing a line-by-line review of the document. They posed thoughtful, serious questions that resulted in a responsible spending plan, which found efficiencies and capitalized on regional services while only increasing by 3.25% over the previous year. So congratulations to the Powell Budget Committee, and we'll make sure that they get this. And lastly, for District 3, we have Benjamin Cox Faxon. Ben here? No. Benjamin Cox Faxon, a graduating senior, was involved in a number of community service activities during his years at Yarmouth High School, including Yarmouth Shellfish Nursery, Lunch Crunch Program, Grip and Rip Lax Camp, TED, teacher interviews, garden work, Yarmouth March for the Ocean, and more. In recognition of his outstanding volunteer achievements, he was presented with the Robert Boyd Award by his school. So congratulations, Benjamin, for a job well done. We'll make sure he gets this. I think that's it, Commissioner. Okay?
I'd like to thank the volunteers, really. Governments can run and do all kinds of things, but if they don't have a volunteer base behind them to support programs where they interface with the public, we can't do our job. So my hat's off to you, and thank you very, very much for doing the jobs that you do.
Our last set of presentations is District 4. Commissioner Tom Coward, would you like to join me?
I will be right there.
All right.
I'll be happy to read those, Jim, give your voice a rest.
Commissioner, I'm going to take you up on that. There you go.
First is the Pond Cove Playground Committee. Folks here from that? No? Okay, good. Well, Pond Cove Playground Committee is a group of dedicated volunteers whose fundraising, planning, construction, and coordination of efforts to replace and rebuild the Pond Cove Elementary School playground exemplify volunteer service to the community. So thank you to those folks. Next is Neighbors for Neighborhoods. We have folks here from, all right. I'll read this. You can come up and get your award in just a second. Neighbors for Neighborhoods successfully identified a citywide problem of too many unregulated short-term rentals in residential zones and united neighbors to encourage the city to limit the numbers of short-term rentals and regulate them. As a result of the group's efforts, residents voted overwhelmingly in favor of reasonable and meaningful measures to discourage investors from purchasing homes in neighborhoods for the purpose of running mini hotels. South Portland has one of the strictest ordinances to regulate short-term rentals. The new rules are effective, and the group has restored a sense of community that was endangered by the new industry. So if you want to come up and accept the award. And if you would like to say a few words about what your group has done and what you've accomplished, then I'll hand this to whoever wants to accept it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk about a timely arrival. I'm Jeff Steinbrink. This is Linda. This is Linda Zwigorn and Diane Romano. We're just a small part of Neighbors for Neighborhoods. I have a speech, but I'm not going to give it, given that we were late getting here, and that's already rude enough. I want to say two things. One is, we hear a lot about what happens when the spread of evil only requires that good people do nothing. We need to hear more about when good people do something. And that's what happened with Neighbors for Neighborhoods. And the good people getting together create a whole that's greater than the sum of the parts. And that's a wonderful experience altogether. That we succeeded in helping South Portland to come to what we think of as a sensible solution to the short-term rental problem, that's kind of icing on the cake. The other thing is, we sort of had to invent the wheel in Maine about doing this, and I know that other communities are now engaged in the same sort of argument about how to handle short-term rentals. So if we can be useful to others, we did learn some things along the way, and so not everybody has to invent that wheel. Thank you very much for this.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
And that's it, Commissioner, yes. Thank you, Commissioners, for your help on this. We just heard some very worthwhile narratives of some great things volunteers are doing within our county. I would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight to support these outstanding examples of volunteerism within our communities in Cumberland County. So at this time, we will close this presentation, and I will ask the chair if it would be all right to take maybe a 5-minute recess so that people can get up, so we don't have to make them sit through the rest of our meeting. You're all welcome.
Well, Jim, as you know, I'm sure they're fascinated by the details of this. We've got a sprinkler award that we're going to be making here shortly, and there's a few other things. But in the meantime, we can take a quick break. Again, with our thanks for all the work that you've done, all the people, please, that you associate with that aren't here tonight, please express our thanks to them as well. And we'll take 5 minutes.
Thank you.
And we're back following a break. We are prepared now for any further comments from any member of the public on the topic of interest. Seeing none, move on to the consent items. And our consent items this evening are 19086 through 87, 88, and 89.
Move their approval.
We have a motion,
I'll second.
moved and seconded. Barbara, would you read those items for so that
Sure.
people know what they are? Just the titles
Sure.
is fine.
19086 is approval of Sheriff's Office commissions for October and November 2019. Item 19087, approval of Sheriff's Office one-year pilot project cost plus purchasing contract with Trinity Services Group, specializing in providing customized food service support in correctional facilities. Item 19088, the reappointment of Cumberland County Recreation District trustees. And 19089, award of bid to AAA Energy Services of Scarborough, Maine, for the purchase and storage of a new brine chiller for the Cross Insurance Arena.
Okay, thank you. And is there any discussion on any of these items? Commissioner Latonis?
I just have a question on, let's see, item number is 088, the reappointment of the Cumberland County Recreation. I'm assuming that they all are going to be reappointed, you know, that they've been contacted for the 3 people? And they want to
Yes.
do it again?
I reached out. These were partial terms that they were fulfilling, and I reached out to all of them, and they were interested to be re-upped for a full 3-year term. It is District 3, Steve Webster, District 4, Tom Tyler, and at-large Bill Witten, all having terms expiring at December 31st of this year, and they'll be re-upped for another 3 years.
Oh, well, that was my only question.
Okay, and these will be, continue to be staggered as full terms as time goes on from here. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. New business, 19090, amending the county's administrative regulations to include temporary teleworking policy, emergency essential versus non-essential policy, and the Cumberland County emergency pay policy. Dawn, are you the guilty party on this matter, or is it Mr.
Unfortunately, I
Gailey?
am.
Yeah, okay.
Staff has been working with the Emergency Management Department for well over a year now on the EMA Department's quest on developing or upgrading the county's Continuity of Operations Plan, otherwise known as the COOP, C-O-O-P. The COOP is a federal initiative to encourage organizations to plan to address how critical operations will continue under a broad range of circumstances. A COOP plan addresses emergencies from an all-hazards approach. In a sense, the exercise that we had here in the courthouse was, if the courthouse was for some reason inoperable or inhabitable, where would we go? How we would continue to run HR, finance, executive? And so that really put us in a different way of thinking, and we had to work through a number of plans on how we would relocate our departments and where. A few of the straggling ends of this plan is really defining three areas that this item encompasses. The first is the development of a temporary teleworking policy. I won't go too deep into that, but I will say that I used other county teleworking policies. I've used the federal government's teleworking policies in creating ours. It is who qualifies to work from home, or maybe it's another building somewhere in the vicinity of Cumberland County or another part of the state. And what does that look like? What's the county's responsibility to the employee, and what's the employee's responsibility to the county? The second policy that we have is emergency essential versus non-essential policy. That is really getting the department heads to think who in their department would be those essential people. When you need to call people in to do the work at hand, who are the essential people that gets things done? And then who are the non-essential people that are supportive of those on a day-to-day basis, but maybe can not have to be up on the front line as the essential members have to be. And then lastly, we needed to look at what it would look like on an emergency pay policy. If we were out of business for a while, is this something that we were going to be paying employees 40 hours a week for not working, or how is that going to be structured? And so again, it's working with HR, working with finance, and the department heads on going really back to the essential and non-essential classifications, and then determining how we're going to continue the pay for employees who may or may not be working during a downtime because of the inability to house them in any one area to do the work. So what I have structured these three policies of being is, sure, they'll be in the COOP plan that EMA is putting together, but more importantly, I think they need to be a standalone policies within the Cumberland County administrative regulations. So these three will be tacked on the end. I think it's actually Regulation 17, 18, and 19, and they will be seen in that document also. So with that, I'd ask for the Commissioner's approval of all three policies and allowing us to amend the admin regs and insert these policies in the COOP plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions at this point? Commissioner Gordon?
Yeah, on the last part, when you're talking about E, I forget, it's the last page. What caught my eye here is the county manager shall determine on a case-by-case whether exempt employees are to be reimbursed and how much and et cetera. And I would like to suggest that in there, to protect you and the commissioners, that we add with the concurrence of the commissioners.
Any discussion on that possible amendment?
Yeah, just what would that add to this?
Well, it would mean that he would be taking, if he's going to make a decision on people getting wages changed or hours changed or whatever, is that we agree with him.
Do we do that anyway?
Not necessarily, I guess,
No.
is the point. Yeah. So, do you have any comment on that, Mr. Gailey?
I have no problem inserting that. In this particular case, emotions could be running high, and kind of gives me a little cover, having the elected board weighing in. So I'm all for it. Thank you, Commissioner Gordon.
Yep.
And on a technical basis, those payroll warrants that you folks are signing off on, those are the technical sign-off of the commissioners. It's just something that we do so routinely we don't think about a ton, but from that perspective. That would be a continuation of that.
Well, and I really think having at least a nominally, public process where people, if they think they're being unfairly treated, have an opportunity to speak their piece and have their views considered is a good idea, So formal motion, please, to add that to the draft. We have a motion to add with the consent of the
Yeah, I make a
commission.
motion that we add language that allows the commission, or lets the commissioners have concurrence with the city manager's determination.
You meant the county manager, I'm sure.
County
And is there a second for that
Second
amendment? Moved and seconded. Any objection? Any further discussion on that amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous, it's added. Further discussion on, could I have a main motion, please? And I would prefer a motion adopting all three.
I'd move that we adopt the temporary telework policy, emergency essential versus non-essential policy, and emergency pay policy as presented and as amended.
And they'll be numbered as indicated by the county manager.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? It's unanimous. Our next item, Mr. Gailey, what was your thinking on the timing of the executive session that would be necessary before we considered 19091?
Well, 19091 is in a different stature than the executive sessions down below. 19091 is a collective bargaining agreement between the Teamsters Local 340, the Corrections Supervisors Unit, which has been ratified by the union members. We would like the commissioners to enter into an executive session briefly so that we can update the commissioners on where we fell out at the end of the negotiations prior to you casting a vote for acceptance of the union contract. And then that's a little different because there will be an action item on this one versus the other two will not be action items.
So we're going to do that right now. So could I have a motion, please, that we will enter executive session in accordance with 1 MRSA Section 4056D to receive an update on negotiations?
Move.
So moved. Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're in executive session. Should be fairly brief. And we're back. And at this time, we have item 19091 ready for consideration, approval of the collective bargaining agreement between Teamsters Local 340 Corrections Supervisors Unit and the County of Cumberland. Could I have a motion, please, for approval of that contract?
Move approval.
It's been moved. Is there moved and seconded? Any discussion on this item? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And it's unanimous. Old business, we don't have any agenda old business. Comments? Start with the county manager, Mr. Gailey.
Great, thank you. A few this evening. The first is I want to follow up on two things that we discussed back in October. The first was the commissioner records that we had in a workshop, I think on October 25th. Since then, we explored a way of maybe, it would be a slower way, but more cost-effective way of getting the 10,000 files that we have, which are TIFF files. Yeah.
Talk about obsolete technology.
Yeah. We have those files, and as of today, they have been dumped on an external hard drive. So they are at least copied onto an external hard drive that we can now take a look at what is there and find the right program to create a database for indexing these files. Again, I think I made mention to in the workshop that this might be something that a college internship would be looking at, or at the very least, maybe a summer job or a vacation job for a college student or a high school student that would be able to go through these and work through a protocol that we establish on how do we create a database out of these. With 10,000 records, it may take some time, but I just can't see us spending another $27,000 to $30,000 redoing everything and starting all over. So, but it's on the radar, and we will continue to move forward on this. Yes, Commissioner?
Jim?
Yeah, so happened, I ran into a couple of surveyors, out doing road work, and I talked to them about this issue, because Tom brought it up and so forth. And I asked them how important it was for them, and they said, really, they said it's for our convenience, so that we can do work in our office, we don't have to travel to the county, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, would you guys ever consider doing a partnership with the county and essentially help fund it? And they said it would be worthwhile. So I asked, who do you get a hold of? And they said, just get a hold of the state surveyor group leader, or whatever their organization is, and have them ask the people in the Cumberland County area, and he's thought there would be support. So I passed that on to you as a possible way that we could get some of this funded. Because I told them it did not make any dollar cents for the county to do it.
Right. Okay, good lead, thank you. Another item I have is just a report out. We talked a little bit about possible ideas on the state celebration in 2020. And last week, we had the managers of the counties throughout the state had a meeting up in Kennebec County, and just want to report that there are mixed ideas at this point. Some counties are very intrigued with the whole idea and thinking often about it, and some haven't thought at all about it. So it's a mixture of ideas at this point, but still months to go. This evening, we did the Spirit of America Awards. I just want to pass along that at the MCCA convention in September, we were presented with the Gold Distinguished Award by Angus King for the county's role on the Spirit of America Awards. So that was a nice item to receive, and being recognized for our role in recognizing great volunteering throughout our county on an annual basis. And then lastly, hockey is back at the Cross Insurance Arena. And it's a great team this year. They're fun to watch. And hopefully everyone can pick up a game or two before the new year, and even more after the new year, as they even get even hotter heading towards the playoffs. So that concludes my communications this evening. Thank you.
Members of the executive staff, Alex
Nothing at this time.
and Don.
Just that this is open enrollment benefits fair week here at Cumberland County. I encourage all employees and even their family members, spouses, to come out and come to one of the fairs here at the Feeney Room or the Communication Center in Wyndham or at the jail for benefits that will take effect January 1st, 2020. And I would also like to point out that HR and a number of county employees from the jail, the sheriff's office, have been beating the bushes on the job fair circuit here in the region, trying to recruit and hire employees to fill a number of positions here in the county, notably at the Cumberland County Jail with corrections officers, where we're down some staff there, law enforcement. So any members, anybody watching this evening, if you know of anybody who would like to have a career in corrections or law enforcement, please go to the sheriff's office website or the county HR website, and we can get you started.
Don, when's the fair?
It starts tomorrow. We have a session here from 11 to 1.
And tomorrow is the 13th of November.
Yes, tomorrow, November 13, 11 to 1 here in the Feeney Room. And we will have a lot of our benefit providers with representatives here to meet with employees, along with our HR staff. From 4 to 7 tomorrow evening, there is a fair up at the Regional Communications Center in Wyndham. And then the following day, the time slips me, it's during the day down at the county jail, November 14th. And these are for benefits enrollment for effective January 1st of 2020.
Don, the positions, especially at the county jail, that are being promoted through job fairs and that kind of thing, would that be, what would be the usual qualifications you'd be looking for? Would that be a high school student who might be considering this, college students, or is that the range that would be?
Yeah, yes, we're looking, well, obviously, we want to be preferred, but a high school diploma or college degree would be preferred, but we would send folks to the Maine Criminal Justice Academy for training.
Yeah.
But one of the focus areas that we've had, working with the Sheriff's Office staff and HR, and our executive team, is to try to streamline that whole hiring process, to condense it, and eliminate any delays, because we need to get this generation of young employees, they're quick. There are a lot of job offers out there. It's like a 1.9% unemployment rate here in this area. So we're trying to streamline the process, go out and showcase our brand at these job fairs, put our best face forward, show the benefits of a career in corrections or law enforcement, or any other number of positions that we have open. Facilities, we have some openings there.
Arms open to the veterans.
Yeah, absolutely. We have some veterans.
And that is, in fact, a career. You come in and successful as a corrections officer. Some corrections officers will opt to move into the deputy sheriff role as a law enforcement. But either way, it's a career with good benefits. And
Oh, yeah, it's an excellent career with excellent benefits. It really is. But we need people. So if you know of anybody out there in the audience, help us spread the word. Thank you.
Travis?
Yeah, just one thing that I'll mention. I think if if you check your emails tonight, you'll see an invitation from the United Way's policy director to a briefing on December 4th in the morning from the Thrive 2027 policy group. This is the United Way's initiative that we've aligned ourselves with. Jim is on the steering committee. I'm on the public policy committee. So we're starting to zero in on the legislation that the policy committee is going to focus on in the legislature next year. And the briefing will also include an expert on adverse childhood experiences, which is so much of what's driving some of the things that Thrive 2027 is trying to fix. So December 4th, 7:30 in the morning in Canal Plaza, there will be breakfast. And hopefully a lot of our legislative delegation will join us there. We hope you can come if you're able to.
And Barbara, anything?
Yes, all I have is I made the calendar for 2020 for all the meetings and the workshops, so you're welcome to have one.
Thank you.
She's passing out assignments already.
I'm organized, right?
Oh, we each get a packet? Is that-
Yep.
Chairman Cloutier, if I could, I was remiss and didn't make mention
Yep.
to that. We do have a finance committee meeting next week, the 18th. This finance committee meeting will have, the guest will be Sheriff Joyce to talk about the sheriff's office and jail budgets with the committee. The meeting starts at 2 o'clock in this room. It will probably last 3 or 4 hours that afternoon. In addition, I just want everyone to have on their radars that we do have a workshop planned for, if I was to guess, the 25th of this month, which is the Monday before Thanksgiving. And that workshop is going to be our annual workshop to talk about the budget. As it is believed that the Finance Committee may be wrapping up on the 18th and remanding the budget to the the commissioners, and so the 25th would be a good day for us to talk about that. So, thank you for the opportunity to let you know about that.
Very good. Comments from commissioners. Commissioner Wood Thomas?
I don't have anything. I was gonna talk about the hockey, but what Jim did, so that's, yep.
Commissioner Gordon?
Thank you. No big deal, but this month is for males, and it's for growing a beard, and it's to pay attention to prostate cancer. It does take an effect and has a big impact. I know I've had 3 people in my life that have gone through a real struggle with it. 2 made it and 1 didn't. So pay attention to it, and good luck.
Mr. Cowell?
Yeah, all I can say is I'm way ahead of you on that one, Steve. First off, I wanted to thank. I wanted to thank the folks that came in today and the people that we gave the Spirit of America awards to. I echo Commissioner Gordon's comments that we get a lot more done with public participation than we do just as a government body. Pushing along where we can. Volunteers get out and do things that need doing in communities, and we really couldn't do without them. And there were some marvelous examples of what people have been volunteering for years, decades, some people in the county. So I'm really appreciative of that. And other than that, I have no further comments. So thank you very much. Watch out for the snow.
And I just have a couple of quick notes. I'm one of those who's hoping that we can develop both here in the county and on a wider basis if we can manage it somehow. A celebration of the 200 years that the state o' Maine has been the state o' Maine instead of the district o' Maine. And I have it on good authority that the actual constitutional convention occurred in Portland in March sometime in 1820, I believe.
Yeah.
They ratified what had been worked on and voted on in 1819. So, glad to hear that the Finance Committee is coming along. I hope if there's a few shekels left on the table that maybe we could put the celebration, put those aside for the celebration. The weather outside is frightening. I hope everybody makes it fine through the next few days, which are supposed to be second week of January style. And then I keep remembering that at times I've picked apples on Thanksgiving weekend, and we won't be doing that this year, but it'd be nice if the weather would have allowed it otherwise than the big freeze. Other than that, really don't have anything further. Thanking again everybody who participated in the work that was honored by the presentations that were made tonight. We need yet another executive session, so I would appreciate a motion to go into executive session, since we will not be entertaining any motions at the end of that, even after we come out of executive session. That'll be the end of the recorded meeting tonight, other than we'll manually create minutes. So could I have a motion to go into executive session, please?
I make a motion to go into executive session.
And that would be,
It's MRSA 4056E to receive an update from the Human Service Director on the negotiations with the National Corrections Employees Union, Local 110.
and we also are, your motion also includes, I think, the guidance for Local 340 Law Enforcement Unit. So,
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Is there a second, please? Second. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Unanimous? We're in executive session.